Good morning, everyone. Let's get ready for the stream here. Good morning. Good evening for myself here. I'm gonna go to bed after this stream. But hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a good day so far. And yeah, let's kick off the day strong with, of course, the cryptocurrency market today. It's looking phenomenal. All right, we have a couple of very important things to discuss in regards to the price, but also in regards to the fundamentals behind it. What's the true driver of this pump here? What are the potential scenarios? We're going to talk about all of that, and of course we're going to come back down towards a couple of key levels, a couple of key charts to look at as well in regards to altcoin setups, breakouts, you name it. This is going to be the day where we are going to trade some crypto as well. We had a busy Forex week. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love here in regards to everything that you guys are, doing, and the energy that you're putting on a day-to-day basis as well in our community. As always, I want to do a quick shout out to Cowboy for being here, helping the brothers out, as well streaming Asia sometimes. Fantastic, great value there. And also, of course, a big shout out to Trader Tim, Terminator Tim. Keep going with the signals, and people are absolutely crushing it. I saw that there was a beautiful render trade today. Fantastic. We have to keep going, regardless. So the community is built around multiple individuals, and you can see clearly that it has been working, and it has been working very well. So fantastic stuff here. Let's quickly look who we have today in the chat right now. Let me quickly check here. Give me one moment, guys. I need to pick up the chat. I don't see the chat right now. There we go. Let's see. Martin, good to see you, my man. Darius says, yo, Gabbo. Gavin, of course, always here, always supporting us. Always working very hard in the back end as well. We have Billy Joe. Beautiful to see you, my man. Phil, Maria, Cowboy, Vicky, Alfredo is in the building. Mufis, Gary, Rafal. Thank you for the support, my friend. Great stuff here. We have to play some chess soon. Again, it's that time. Hope you have improved a little bit. All right, so it gets a little bit more challenging for me, if you know what I mean. Looking forward to it, man. Okay, Jack, Romo, Cosmos, guys, thank you for the support. Make sure you smash up that like button here, and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun today. Beautiful. Okay. Bitcoin, $47,000, right? Back at the highs right now. The question is this another, a retest? Is this another false move? Are we going to come down again? This is what we have to, have to decide right now. We have the weekend coming. Okay, the question will be, this is going to be super important weekend. Let's put it this way. We have so much to discuss in regards to that, but, we have seen a couple of good events happening so far here. But again, keep in mind that we are now still, or once again, in that massive resistance. Okay, so we cannot get too excited too early. The only thing is that, what I do like to see here is the fact that these altcoins right now are actually setting up quite nicely due to the fact that, of course, the Bitcoin dominance has been super, ripping aggressively to the upside here over the last couple of days. Right now, reaching, a key level of resistance here. So, if we're seeing some sort of rejection on the Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin decides to, range again at the top, because what you tend to see, around the major resistance here is that it's just not, an immediate reversal. All right. If we get rejected here, it's usually not a reversal play right away. It's also not potentially a breakout right away, towards the 50K, which is still a possibility. All right. We're going to talk about that. But, if we decide to come down, what tends to happen is that we should be able to create some sort of consolidation again. And that consolidation is where the best, in my opinion, best trade opportunities present themselves for altcoins, because that gives you the momentum or the chance of a small potential play, a small run for these type of altcoins right there. That's what you hope to see. All right. So this is actually, something that will be incredible. Of course, if Bitcoin rips to the 50 to be, also fantastic. But, some consolidation right now back at that resistance here. We're heading into the weekend. So this could be the start of like an area of consolidation right now for Bitcoin again. And if that's the case, of course, then we should be able to capitalize on that. And that's why I believe that, there are some charts and breakout patterns that I've seen on multiple altcoins right now that could potentially then play out because of the fact that Bitcoin, potentially will make that short-term breather. And therefore, we also have, of course, the actual confirmation in case we get rejected at the 47 or let's say 48k. We will find out today how this daily candle closes. Okay. A couple other things to take into consideration here is the following. The February 9th update. Okay, we had 8 ETFs, of course, adding $510 million today, while Grayscale only decreased $87 million. Okay, so we're starting to see the slowdown of Grayscale right now, and the outflux that comes from the reason because of the fact that Grayscale was such a massive hold of Bitcoin. Right now they're one of the most kind of expensive ETFs in order to hold. They roughly have I believe a 1.25% a fee. So that's why it's much cheaper to get into these other ones, such as Bitwise, Arc, Fidelity, iShares, you name it. At this particular moment, you see, a transition, a momentum shift occurring where Grayscale is starting to decrease in their outflux and the increase of these ETFs are coming along here. So, more money is coming, and getting put into these ETFs right now. So that's a good sign overall. Doesn't mean that we're just going to go to the moon right now. Obviously not, but it's just, something that was hurting us for sure in the last run to the downside. Okay. The topping of the $48,000 when we came there, roughly at the beginning of the year. So the fact that we had that speedy recovery, I have to say it's quite impressive here. The longer we started to consolidate here, right there, the bigger, of course, we expected the breakout. So this was just a matter of time. We have been consolidating for, roughly 2 weeks. And therefore, I think that, the longer that consolidation and a boring momentum, there was no momentum, I could better say. It was just a little bit of a boring time for the market. But again, usually that reflects into, or it ends up in being a bigger expansion. So that's why we have seen a breakout back to the highs. Okay, so overall we're looking good. Now let's dive into the other charts as well. We have the Bitcoin dominance, of course. So the Bitcoin dominance right now, like I said before, is in that resistance. This is if you draw the high to low here, we are now in our key zone. Okay, so Fibonacci 70.579% here. Major zone to take into consideration and to keep a close eye on, because if we do decide to turn here or create a short-term pullback, and if the Bitcoin dominance decide to retest, let's say, the equilibrium, which then would align perfectly with this particular zone right here, this particular range, then you could say that if we come down and Bitcoin is consolidating, that means that obviously we know a lot of money is flowing into altcoins in the very, very short term. So I'm not saying that this is the moment to position yourself for the long term. This is the moment to take advantage of a potential rejection for the from the Bitcoin dominance coming down here and Bitcoin consolidating, or more money to flow into what we call, of course, total tree. So let's quickly go and look at the total tree chart. All right, this is now breaking out here. So we had that key breakout here at around $500 billion. So we had that, roughly $498 billion. That was like a key level, and we got rejected at it many times before. So we had that rejection play at the beginning of the month. We tried to break it yesterday, we couldn't. But again, today we were finally able to break that level, which could bring us directly towards the higher levels here, which is, in my opinion, the $520 billion. So that's kind of a target that we could reach. That means that $20 billion would enter, the altcoin section here. And therefore, I think that we should be able to capitalize on it. Do take consideration, of course, that the daily closure is, of course, key. So the best way to close the week, and I'm talking about, the traditional marks, I'm not talking about the weekend, but the best thing will be if we close today above that key level of $499 billion for total tree. So that represents the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum, just the rest of the market, of the ecosystem here 499 billion. We need to close above it in order for us to look at that momentum here. Now combine that one more time with the Bitcoin dominance. If you then see that rejection play here happening here, so if we then close below the 53.64%, so that's kind of that resistance that we're currently facing. Okay, so let's go back real quick. Let me quickly, there we go. If we see rejection happening around this level here, and we're starting to come down, and the total tree is closing above that level, fantastic. You know, I think we could look for potential safe lungs to the upside here, and potentially start looking at further continuations here for the market. So, you know, keep a very, very close eye on the Bitcoin dominance and of course the total tree. Now, the last thing that I would like to add here is the Tether dominance. Okay, we are, and this is definitely, you know, something that we have to take consideration. There are always, you know, two sides of the story. It's a double-edged sword here. We are currently at these lows, and we are reacting from these lows right here. Okay, so the question is now, like, how aggressive will this reaction be? Is this going to be the low? Is this the new low? Or, you know, are we going to try to get, you know, rejected here? So if that's the case, then you could say that you could avoid, in my opinion, the weekend trading, at least unless you're scalping on the lower time frame, or, you know, you're not really interested in the bigger plays. Because then I think on a Monday you will have the actual climax here for the Tether dominance as well, to see if we are able to just bounce from here. If that's the case, we are already going to come down with Bitcoin, or if we're going to come up and get rejected to break down further, and that means that potentially that could result into, you know, a further continuation to the downside, which is of course extremely bullish for the market. We have still a gap sitting here below, and we have of course a major range that we have to get to. So that's still potentially indeed a scenario where if we come down and we break below here, that we can start looking for further continuation to the downside. So, you know, keep a very close eye on these three charts here, right? The Bitcoin dominance, the Tether dominance, and of course total tree. Now, a last thing here, which I think is important to mention, and I said this before as well on the previous streams, you know, look at the Bitcoin ETF charts as well. So add these ones in your watch list. If you're trading with TradingView here, you know, you can put them all in there. You can easily find all these ticker symbols right there. It should not be a bit hard to find. You know, what I recommend to do is here to simply look at the, the Bitcoin ETF charts, and also understand that right now, since we have opened here on the 11th of January, we are now finally seeing at least, you know, some sort of, you know, kind of a relief bounce, right? A turnaround, a flippening, you know, scenario happening here. So all good stuff when looking at, you know, the ETFs as well. So therefore, you know, we didn't have that much information at the beginning. So it was practically unable from a, you know, technical standpoint to say, you know, this and this level is important to look at. That's what happens when you're opening, you know, new tickers and new symbols to the market, and you're adding them, you know, to the database, you could say. This was the first time where we finally start breaking that level. So we had, of course, on the hourly chart here, you know, this particular high, we broke it, we retested it, and we kept going. So the moment we saw this play, and I think I just wanted to go back real quick. So let's quickly go to the replay button. Oh, it's not possible yet. Fine. Anyways, we have this zone. Okay. And the moment we started to break, you know, this particular low here, and we retested this low perfectly, and we sold off, that was the moment when I knew, okay, this is potentially a level to take in consideration. That's the 42.28, and I'm just taking ARK Invest right now as an example. Okay, so the moment it came back, you could say that, like, hey, we reclaimed for the first time ever on the 29th of January, we reclaimed that breakout. We reclaimed that level here. And we said before that the moment that happened here, that was the 29th of January. That was the moment when we started to, you know, recover and come back in towards that, to break that major resistance at $43,000 while building eventually later on that liquidity. So that was just a first good signal of the market potentially moving along a little bit further here. And we have seen right now 1, 2 retest, liquidity building, continuation to the upside. So we're seeing that breakout right now happening here, and, you know, we're just looking to see, you know, how, you know, is ARK Invest or any other particular Bitcoin ETF chart developing. And I think that, you know, by paying attention, you can use this to add this to your correlations, to add this to your trading, making decisions if you're trying to figure out which direction the market is potentially going or heading towards. Okay, so this was a fantastic thing to look at. It was that bounce here from that key level that we finally have created here. And, you know, obviously the 6th of February, which was 3 days ago, that was eventually the, you know, the last day before that major breakout. So that is that low that we've seen here on the ARK Invest chart here. After that, we saw a breakout happening right there. That could be a fantastic confirmation that the market is looking for further upside, you know, continuation and stuff. Very, very nice to see that this is going. And so far, this old pattern looks like a very bullish pattern right now. It looks like a very good structure where you create a strong low. You know, you have that sell off, you break, you reclaim that major resistance, you turn it into support, and you build enough liquidity to start pushing further to the upside here. Obviously, we're looking to come back towards these, towards the highs right now. Okay, so this is all good. So therefore, 50K Bitcoin, I would not be surprised if we're heading towards the $50,000 for Bitcoin here in the next coming days. But again, we already have to look at day by day, and we have practically 8 hours left for this daily candle to close here. The weekend I would take with a grain of salt. I think today's closure will be the most important. So I would love to see a closure above this level here, which is that body that you can see right there, which will result into the 46.9K. So hopefully we can close above it here. And like we said before, you know, hopefully we can, you know, roll over with the Bitcoin dominance, come back down with the Tether dominance. And, you know, then I think nothing is stopping us from some, you know, some really nice breakouts to the upside for many of these altcoins here. Okay, beautiful. Hope that makes sense so far. Let me know if you can follow it here. Quick 15-minute introduction. Couple of altcoins to look at. Number one, of course, is the BNB chart. Okay, look at what's happening with BNB on the daily time frame. So that's major. That's big. BNB has been, you know, consolidating right now for a very long period of time. We're talking about the beginning of the year, reaching that local high, all the way down towards the 10th of February right now at the moment. We are currently sitting at the resistance level. Okay, the daily resistance level. So we do like daily resistance levels. Why do we like them so much? Well, if we manage to close a daily candle above a resistance level, obviously we look at that next daily candle to look for that candle flip formation. And you know, we talked about this previously in streams, but again, that's the favorite, you know, that's kind of a playbook, you know, a play that we like to do here a lot. It's practically, you know, you look for that one candle close above here, you look for the next daily candle to open, to create a bottom wick, to flip bullish. That's your entry, stop loss under that wick, looking for further continuation. So if we have these things in our favor, BNB is one of these setups that I think is ready finally for a run. It kind of had a little bit of a lagging period, and I do think it's setting up for, you know, a bigger breakout right now. And if you look here at the overall weekly chart of Bitcoin, of BNB, sorry, you know, we're still in a massive weekly range. But again, the way we were creating that kind of inverted head and shoulders here, and then obviously looking at that new area of consolidation, if that consolidation of roughly, you know, 2 months plus results in a breakout, you could assume that this could result into a big play. So BNB is definitely something that I would keep a very close eye on, just because of the fact that if you go to the, you know, the Bitcoin dominance, or sorry, the secondary dominance, you know, chart, or, you know, section, I could better say, you could say already that BNB right now is, you know, maybe not looking that particularly strong, but I would say, and I would pay very close attention to the fact that this might shift very soon. So keep a very close eye on this particular ticker symbol, BNB.D, due to the fact that you are now coming back towards key level of support. So if you decide to hold above, fantastic, BNB will gain more dominance in the overall market. Okay, next one, besides BNB, which is fantastic, if you are, you know, if you don't have that much time to trade, you know, on a day-to-day basis, so you just want to look for the breakout on a daily, then this is by far the play to make. If you have a little bit more time, I would suggest to look at AVAX as well. Look at what AVAX is doing. It's setting up for also, you know, a major continuation play. So this is practically what you want to see when looking at the higher time frame. AVAX right now had that key level of resistance, or initially, this was this particular high right here. We were building that trend. We broke out of that trend. We broke out of that high. We flipped that high into support, and we held above it for, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. And this is the time for AVAX right now to start looking for that, you know, continuation. So, you know, a very safe play will be, especially if you are, you know, potentially interested in spot buys, you know, also looking at that continuation here for AVAX right now, especially, of course, we have that confirmation. But so far, it's setting up for a nice breakout here. And if you look at, one more time, the secondary dominance chart, Bitcoin and AVAX are the only ones right now, currently at the moment, that are green, okay? So Bitcoin is gaining dominance in the overall market. AVAX is gaining dominance in the overall market. AVAX by 2.8%. The AVAX is definitely taking money from other cryptos right now, heading into AVAX, okay? That's what dominance means. So if you go one more time to the coin market cap, okay, we're sitting at a $1.78 trillion market cap right now. The dominance factor, of course, is mainly Bitcoin. You could say that Bitcoin's dominance right now is 53.58% of that, which then automatically means it's a market cap of $926 billion. Same for AVAX in that manner, okay? It's gaining momentum, therefore keep a close eye on it. That also means that the ecosystem of AVAX, potential, you know, cryptocurrencies that are related to the AVAX chain, could be something to look at as well later on. So not yet, later on, where more money will eventually flow from AVAX into, you know, these smaller caps as well later on. So AVAX, I feel and I see, just based upon macro technicals right now, that we're looking seriously good. And if that's the case, that we're gonna just break out and continue to the upside, and we have these other things in our favor, then I would highly recommend to be or get familiar with the AVAX ecosystem here, okay? So just to give you a couple ones to look at real quick before I continue looking at actual some trading setups for now, and just to extend our watch list. You know, the best thing to look at here is a chart that I actually created here. That is the AVAX index here. So same thing for the AVAX index. Okay, we're heading and tapping into that beautiful support right now. And this is a combination of multiple AVAX projects in one chart. So formulated into one particular chart right here. I really like the way this is setting up, the way we broke above this particular zone here, and the way we're now setting up for potential continuation. And this is on the weekly time frame. So just see if the weekly time frame is setting up for something. That should tell you something, and that is usually pretty accurate. All right. So very nice. Keep a close eye on these AVAX projects in the short term. Beautiful. Okay, I hope that makes sense so far. You know, make sure one more time you smash up the like button. Would highly appreciate that. Just do it right now. Okay, click on it. Let's go over a couple more setups here. We're gonna keep it short. We're gonna keep it powerful today. Most importantly, you know, I highly recommend you to start looking at some of these bigger plays right now, because this is one of these moments when, you know, you're so caught up on the lower time frame, because we were kind of forced to, you know, be patient and trade on the lower time frames and to just not look at potential breakouts and all that stuff here, because of the fact that the market was not setting up for it yet. Now we're kind of seeing that, you know, this is usually where the biggest runs happen, when Bitcoin is at a key level of resistance and it's not ready to push down right away. Okay, so therefore do take that into consideration. Okay, fantastic, fam. All right, Thomas Wolf says new backer video. Super amazing. We'll have a look at it here. GTP Phoenix is privacy coin. Monero is delisted in Binance. Firo and Mask will also be delisted in Binance. Your suggestion? I mean, we all know right now why what's happening to Binance, right? Binance is you know, is completely under control right now. It's completely hijacked by, you know, the government, you could say, all right, by you know, the big players, the big elite here. You could say that right now Binance is completely dominated. So therefore, anything that they want, you know, Binance can just you know, directly say, okay, yes, sir, you know, everything you say, master, we are gonna do it. So remove Monero, remove privacy coins, absolutely no problem. Okay, be careful with your funds. I'm just saying, everything is tracked very, very soon. Okay, a couple more yeah, charts to look at. Okay, did Putin interview cause crypto to pump? One thing I can say for sure in regards to this interview, okay, you know, they definitely exploited based upon statistics, clear facts that the American dollar is you know, self-sabotaging right now. All right, itself. They're self-sabotaging itself. It is not looking it's not looking good with the United States dollar. Okay, it's a matter of time here. You can already say what he said if you guys watched it. I mean, 100 million plus people watched it. I think even more. Incredible interview, by the way. Highly recommend to watch it on X. What you know, what they say, I don't know directly if there is a direct correlation between the Bitcoin pump and this interview. Now, I would take it with a grain of salt. What do you know? The message behind his message is kind of clear. The dollar is setting up for failure, and of course, the bigger, you know, the other currencies are setting up, you know, for a detachment from the dollar, you know, based upon statistics. Okay, and the way we were so connected to the dollar in the first place, and right now, based upon the sanctions that they put on these Eastern countries right now, you can say that they're self-sabotaging themselves because it only, you know, set themselves up for, you know, more security with other currencies like the yuan, the Chinese yuan, in that manner. Okay, so again, in regards to crypto, hard to say if that was a cause of the pump, but the underlying fundamentals are definitely something to not be neglected. Okay. Crazy stuff. All right. Next one. And then I would love to get your opinion as well here. And I would love to let me do some analysis with a couple of setups that you are looking at. Or in general, just throw some cryptos in the air. Okay. Let me analyze them for you. We have BNB. Fantastic potential. We had AVAX. Fantastic. You guys saw it. Ethereum. Okay. Ethereum. Looking very, very good. Also, we cannot neglect Ethereum here. Okay, Ethereum currently is in a major resistance right now. Okay, $2,500 psychological level for Ethereum here. Major weekly resistance right here. Keep a close eye on this breakout potentially. Okay, we have seen multiple, you know, key levels here forming around the $2,500 here. Matter of fact, this was back in 2022. We had that massive bounce here, that relief bounce. And look at, you know, all of these weeks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks that we stayed above it. And we actually touched the 2,500 level, followed by another week, followed by a breakdown. And that was kind of the start of the true bear market, you know, coming from 2,500 all the way down to $877 at the lows. Now back at that massive break potentially. So if you start breaking above the $2,500 here, guys, that's fantastic. Okay, that could result into a major pump here. I would not be surprised if that happens. That Ethereum would shoot up towards the $3,200 here. You know, let's start with the 3,000. Okay, let's kick it off with the 3,000 first, and let's see from there. All right, this is kind of a major break here. We have 2 days and 9 hours left for this weekly candle to close. If we manage to close above the $2,505, which is very close, then that is extremely bullish for Ethereum. This could lead into potential continuation here. We have not seen the breakout yet. However, you know, this is the time where we have to pay very close attention, because we already have seen a break above the 2,500 a couple of times. But every single time when we close the week, we manage to close below. So therefore, this is such a key level right now to take consideration. And also, you know, keep in mind that they have been, you know, talking about the Ethereum spot ETF, right? Don't neglect the Ethereum spot ETF here. which is now, you know, or moved to somewhere in May, April, May-ish, if I remember. Okay, but again, it's the setup towards, you know, it's a run up towards that spot ETF potential. So of course, a lot of hype is gonna get formed around Ethereum. If you listen to BlackRock, a CEO, if you listen to, you know, even JP Morgan's CEO, which is actually completely against crypto, he still acknowledges that Ethereum is very interesting due to the fact that smart contracts in general are, you know, key fundamentals here that are gonna get implemented regardless. Tokenization of the world, you name it, it's gonna happen. Ethereum is potentially gonna still be a leading factor. Okay, forget about the gas fees. Yet it still has, in many ways, the best foundation possible. So therefore, $2,500 breakout closure. Looking for further continuation here. You know, setting ourselves up for quite an easy trade, an easy hold of Ethereum. You know, trading it towards the 3 grand, which is still roughly a 20% move. I mean, that sounds reasonable, okay? And I think a lot of big players know that as well. So, you know, anything above this level here, you know, the $2,500 is looking very, very good. Okay, that's it from my side here. BNB, AFX, Ethereum, both key levels, kind of macro, but understand that this is truly the moment to look at the macro charts right now. We can still look at a couple of charts regardless and to see where we can go to. But so far, so good. Okay, very, very close out. And this is definitely something that I'm willing to trade, and which is kind of like a no-brainer for me when I see these breakout confirmations as well. And you know, these are by definition the easiest trade to take as well. Okay, you can neglect the lower time frame noise and you can just start focusing on, you know, a couple different things here. Okay, what is the video on? The video is on X. Yeah. Darius says, can you check out Rune and Injective? Let's start it out. Let's do it, fam. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at Rune. Rune has been holding above the point of control. Okay, fantastic. Major for Rune here. We held above the point of control of that whole range here. So look how powerful the point of control is. We use the volume profile and we use it practically from the left to the right side of this, you know, this complete range. And obviously 2021 was the top. We saw a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, taken out, bottoming out here. And of course, you know, this was the accumulation phase. Now it's time for a breakout followed by a retest. So this is the first big retest that we saw happening. And this week was a very, very good week for Rune here. We eventually started to break out here and gain around 30%. So this is really, really good continuation potential for Rune as well. When you look at the chart here and when you see potentially, you know, that retest, that successful retest and that further, you know, continuation to the upside. So I don't think anything is stopping us for, you know, from looking for further continuation. Obviously, you want to see a little bit of a pullback here because this is now a little bit, you know, this breakout is fine, is fantastic here. But again, we need to make sure that we are, you know, getting a better price for our trade setup, because if you want to risk and if you want to put a stop loss, for example, if you don't want to buy a spot and you want to trade it, you know, your risk to reward has to be in your favor. So I would say a retest coming back down towards the, you know, 4.869 would be the absolute best scenario. This is not on a weekly, this is on a 4 hour, so that's a big difference. And that means that if you would see a pullback here, a retest here, and then looking for that continuation, that will be the absolute ideal. Okay, then we also have this particular move. We are now holding above this high as well. Okay, it's still good. There's still some potential here. We are holding above the previous high, and we have retested that high as well here. You could say that this is also a level to look at, but again, this then all depends on the rest of the market here. Let's say that you want to take a trade on the lower time frame. A possible long is interesting because if you get stopped out, you can already directly kind of confirm that you're gonna come down lower. And if you come down lower, then you know what you can do then is you can just take a short and then look for the further, you know, a further pullback, trade to pullback, and then immediately turn your short into a long again when you're reaching these lower levels right here. But for now, it is an interesting level to look for longs. I mean, not gonna lie, you're above that previous high. I know that we have pumped so significantly already, but the way you're setting up here on the lower time frame, it's kind of looking interesting. Okay, the way you're setting up here, the way you're holding above it, you're trying to gain that momentum. If you really want to make sure, then I would wait for price to be broken, and that's the 5.4. If you can break above the 5.4, then we have something, you know, to look at for further continuation to the upside. That's Rune. Yeah, again on the weekly, man. Look how beautiful most of these setups right now are looking at. I mean, it's looking solid, looking solid to me. Both on the higher time frame, lower time frame. You know, this is what you want to see. You want to turn weekly initial resistance levels into support, and then, you know, bounce strong. Like, that's what you want to see. Okay, hope that makes sense. Then let's go to Injective. Thank you for sharing, by the way. This looks amazing. Looks really nice. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Injective. Yeah, okay. It's a nice, you know, bottom. Yeah, okay, it's this range. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So this was kind of the range where we were looking for. And look at how it's setting up here. This smells like a sort of potential breakout here. Very simple. Don't have to overcomplicate it. You came back and retested this range. You actually came back towards a key level of the month here on the 4-hour chart. You tapped into it. You created a higher high, right? So a higher high and then a higher low, and now we're looking for that breakout potential. Entry at the breakout of a trend. I'm not a big fan of it myself, because there are so many fake outs. Kind of the first thing a trader does, right? They look at trend line breaks and they trade these breakouts. You know, this could result in some, you know, some fake out or some first fake move. So I'd rather get it before, you know, potentially looking at, you know, this particular range or something in that manner, to then start looking at a confirmation, which is at the $33. So if you can get back to the $33 here, then I'm interested in looking for, you know, kind of that squeeze, that breakout here towards the upside, and then look for, you know, further continuation, if that makes sense here. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, beautiful. Welcome back, Lorenzo. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you, Ray. Hope you're doing well, my friend. New Becker video. Yeah, we have to look at Becker's new video. It's a good start. It's a good sign. Whenever he posts a video here, you know, usually that reflects into some sort of, you know, hype and pump or whatever the case may be. So yeah, we can start looking at it. It's actually quite funny. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, so Ethereum by far looking solid. BNB looking amazing here. Keep in mind that the BNB target, by the way, I forgot to talk about the targets here. If you look at BNB itself, you know, just this breakout here, I think that there is a big chance of a bigger play towards the $413. So above the $400 here for, you know, for BNB at this particular moment. If you see that breakout here on the daily. Okay. Very nice. Waywarner says XRM. XMR, sorry. Yeah, what's happening right now with it? Like, this is actually kind of interesting. Crazy stuff, right? Massive break. Pulling into the lows. Major low was of course the $113. So this was the lowest. It was actually the lowest body closure. Okay, this right here. This was the lowest body closure on a weekly time frame. You can say that directly. This is where, of course, you're gonna find its support. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, like, you wait for the weekly closure. Wait for the weekly closure and see what's happening here, because I just don't believe that this is just now done. I don't believe that usually when this happens here that it's over for Monero. I think that this could actually result into, you know, a nice buying opportunity. Don't get, you know, FOMO'd out of the market here. Just because of the fact that it gets delisted here. You know, it gets delisted for a reason, right? And the reason is that it's a privacy coin and that, you know, it's hiding the transactions. Therefore, you know, that's fantastic. That's super beneficial, and it's only going to be more valuable in the future when everything is regulated in the market as well. So, you know, whenever this occurs and you know, whenever you see this dump happening, you are practically at the lows, and therefore I would not be, you know, neglecting it, and I think it's actually still looking extremely interesting. Okay, this looks like a nice potential bouncer in that manner. Okay, let's go to Matic real quick. Matic right now also kind of holding above this zone. Okay, above the 77 cents here. Again, this could result into a nice pushback up here again. And I'm only going to lay you out now the best possible, you know, higher time frame scenarios here, because, you know, whenever you have the opportunity to trade the higher time frame, to understand the higher time frame and understand that most of them now are finally ready for another push, leg up, if we see indeed these confirmations happening. Yeah, I would say that this is fantastic here. And that's why I personally truly believe that it's first going to be time for Bitcoin to consolidate here, or to continue higher to the 50,000, one of those. And I just do not see a direct push to the downside happening here for Bitcoin. I really want to see a week or two of consolidation. We have seen this many times before at certain key levels here. You know, this is one, this was one, you know, over and over again when you're reaching, you know, these key levels. You know, it's not that you come down right away, right? This is kind of, again, where we are. The second time that we're facing that resistance. Are we going to break it? Well, we don't know. But at least, you know, the potential retracement before, you know, the accumulation of distribution phase starts first before a push down. And that distribution phase can be still extremely bullish for altcoins. Wayward says go to, oh, Cosmos says link. Okay. We will look at that low here. Yeah, okay, this is the link dominance. So the link dominance, I just wanted to check it out here. For the beginning of January, we created that bottom. We pointed to it at the time, and we actually made that massive expansion from there. So link is now kind of pushing down here. What does it mean? Well, we will find out on the chart. Ooh. Aha. Okay, link is actually interesting. So, okay, there are two scenarios for link. So either a break, simple, very simple, above the 18.735. So if you click close a weekly candle above it, again, 2 days, 8 hours left. Closure above the 18.735, fantastic. Continuation. Closure below the 18.735, or a weekly bearish candle flip. So this is the weekly candle, right? We have now this candle here. If we start flipping the weekly candle at 18.135, okay, right there. So 18.135 break again. Then the only way is down here. So, you know, this could set up for a breakdown. Why? Well, Link was the one that was actually really dominant for a long period of time, and finally made that break out of this move initially. I have to say, this is not looking that great though. Not looking that great right now. you know, the way we're setting up here usually reflects into a flush out here back into that range for Link. So let's use the fixture is more powerful in that range. And then of course your key level is gonna be the $15, the 15.87857 here. If the market tends to flip, then Link is the first thing to look at. Back towards the value area high here, which is gonna be a you know, roughly 10% dump, something like that here. You know, Link has been front running, you know, other cryptocurrencies for a long period of time, so you know, maybe it's time for a little bit of a pullback here. But the weekly candle will determine potentially that confirmation. That's why I recommend to keep a close eye on the weekly time frame, because it's very easy to see what's happening here. If you flip bearish, that could be the breakdown. If you stay above it and you close above that key level of resistance here. Why is it the key level of resistance? Well, look at this high here. We got rejected at it 2 times before. We acted as support here, and it acted as support here, acted as resistance here. It's one of the most important levels for Link. The most important level, you know, in the middle of the range here for Link right now. So, you know, we will find out very, very soon if that confirmation is actually leading into continuation. The confirmation is a break and closure above that key level. All right, so far not really happening. That could mean the next weekly candle will be a further move to the downside. Okay, amazing, amazing, amazing. Overall, you can see right now, guys, if you're watching, that all these different charts right now, all these different altcoins right now are currently sitting at these key levels. Weekly levels, daily levels. That's what you want. You want to set up at these kind of levels here because they're the easiest to trade, and these opportunities are not always there. So therefore, use it in your advantage. Okay, definitely cannot recommend it enough here. It's not always the case, so let's take that in consideration here. Okay, Way1 says ASTR, and Cowboy says RVM. Let's do a couple more. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Resistance major level. Weekly candle breakdown. Weekly resistance right there. Same thing as Link. Same thing as Link. The good thing about this one is that it's actually setting up like it's compressing, and it's actually ready for a break very, very soon here. But I still would recommend to wait for that weekly closure. And I think that weekly closure will only determine the confirmation. So, you know, you have like, let's say, until here. Let me quickly highlight it. This is the weekly candle closure. And, you know, before we reach this point, we will either already make a move, or if we do close below it, when we're reaching that point, then, you know, am I really bullish? Well, we'll see. Maybe the next candle does it. But again, we have to create a bottom wick. If that happens, then we will come down at least at the beginning to then look for a further push to the upside here. If you come above it as well, you can flip it into support and you can look for the continuation. So weekly candle, once again, like very, very important too. Okay. RVM. The Raven coin, wow. Look at that little baby right there. Okay. A major break, major setup. This is a, what is it? Okay, 20%, nice. Yeah, wow. Yeah, really nice, really clean, really clean. Obviously, you're gonna go now, you know, you will probably go pretty fast towards that key level. So, oh, let me go back. You will probably go to this key level pretty quickly, which is the 24 cents. That's the major resistance here to look at. Obviously, right now we're trading in the middle of, the middle of nowhere. Maybe on the... it's still looking very, very strong. There's no need to start looking at potential. And maybe let's see what we have here. Yeah, we are at the point of control right now. Yeah, it's time for the footprint, my friend. I would say see how buyers and sellers react around this level here, because it's a key level to look at, and definitely not to ignore here. Yeah, it is looking interesting here. Like, you know, this is a lower time frame setup. Like, how do we react around this level here? We have the hourly closure in like 40 minutes. It's the first hourly candle that touches into the zone. I would recommend to wait for this hourly candle to close and to create a new hourly candle and to look for that top wick. And if the top wick is again, you know, coming up and you see that flip happening bearish, and then it could be a continuation play to the downside. It could be short-term bounce or pullback, sorry. Obviously, you're back in that range here. Obviously, there was a big build-up of volume there, and you are reacting from that level right now. It's one of my favorite setups, right? Like the point of control. Very, very powerful. And yeah, this is where you got rejected from as well. So you're also in that supply zone. If you want to play your stop loss, of course, your stop loss is above it. Above that zone here. So yeah, this is a lower time frame setup. Yeah, let's see where this hourly candle closes here. And if you can close below it and the next candle creates a top wick and then flips bearish, short. That's a short play, okay? Tether dominance is right now still at that zone, at support, so it could be interesting. Yeah. Awesome, 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 awesome. Really nice setup. Monsieur says, can you look at Sui? Asking a new high, okay. Let's look at Sui here. You can see that many of them right now are in these key levels here. So take advantage of Sui, man. Wow. Yeah, Sui is in all-time high territory right now. We talked about this before. You have to go to the lower time frame here. And let's just simply look at... Now let's look at a 4-hour swing point. What about this? And let's talk about this right here. Yeah, so next level. 178. A lot of individuals use the Fibonacci on a default setting if you are in an area of price discovery, reaching all-time highs. You're looking for the continuation 1.7823. You know, that's kind of what we're looking for here, and see how you respond there. The only thing that you should do, in my opinion, trading, and I realized this over time as a trader, you know, I'm just sitting on my hands until price reaches a key level. That's it. Reaches a key level, I observe it a little bit. I look at the hourly chart, 4-hour, I'm looking at the lower time frame. I'm like, okay, we're reacting good. The sentiment is good, long or short. Very, very simple. Yet, you know, not easy if you get what I mean here. That takes us time to get there. But again, 17823, I can guarantee you're going to see some sort of reaction from it. And if you see a reaction maybe in resistance, then no, utilize it. If you see a break above it, that's a key level, flip it into support, looking for the continuation up here. The 1.618 here, you know, a lot of individuals tend to use the Fibonacci like that in price discovery. So that's just the default Fibonacci settings, nothing to change here. From top to bottom, up to previous high and low. And you utilize this as a tool of reference. Nothing to say for the rest here. It's just that is a key level to look at. All right. So that's the only thing I can say, Farouk. Waywander says Zen USDT is in an interesting zone. Weekly Binance chart. All right, let's look at Zen. I'm adding all of them to the watch list. Make sure that everything that we discussed today is added to the watch list, because then it's just a matter of being patient and waiting for the actual setups to come into play here. All right, Zen. By the way, is it Chinese New Year right now? There's a lot of fireworks here at the moment. Yeah, okay. So you are, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a big fan. I mean, this is not really showing me, yeah, any bullish reaction. You're in a big range. This is an aggressive sell. This is not something that I would use in order to look for longs here again. This is too aggressive. A lot of trapped buyers are probably around this level here. So it's going to be very hard to turn and flip bullish here. Yeah, the only thing I would say is shorts. A reversal play here. And like, yeah, look at what we have been building here. Also over time, this is just like, yeah, a potential, trade scenario where you start selling off. I mean, I don't see any weekly confirmation or strength or anything that shows me like, hey, we potentially can make a move here. Every move that's been made before, like this one, immediately got cut off and is now creating lows here. It's just looking very, very weak. Very weak. Not a yeah, I'm not a big fan. Unless the market eventually turns around, then yeah, selling opportunities here. That's it. Just see how the price responds in the zone at around 8.3 and see if you can take it down. Something like that. Nine till 19th Chinese New Year celebration. I think that's it. Yeah, I think we, here in Bali we have a lot of Chinese. I think that they're celebrating a lot of Asian, a New Year. Probably Chinese New Year is something bigger. I've never seen it before though. All right, Yasun says Solana. Yeah, so Sol indeed held here. We came down super aggressively. Remember, at some point we were unstoppable, but whenever the hype became too big, we've seen a 40% decline. Yeah, 40%. Recovery mode. Okay, recovery mode right now. Too close to weekly resistance already. So I don't see the potential now, but I see potential above this level. So above this key level of $113, I think it's better to look for further continuation then after that confirmation. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient still with Solana before looking at moves here. All right, unless I'm a scalper or a day trader on the lower time frame. From a macro standpoint where other setups are looking very good, Solana has some ground to cover, and Solana has to break above this region. You could say, yeah, but it's 105, and if I buy now, then it's much better because I bought it for a lower price. I agree. But what if you buy here, price comes up, you're not going to sell, and you are getting rejected once again, and you come down lower, right? So give us that extra confirmation. That confirmation is then I rather sometimes buy higher. I rather buy at 160 instead of at 1.5, because I know that if that happens and you have that confirmation, that we can directly go towards the 140 or the 137, somewhat in that region. Okay, so I'd rather do that and wait sometimes for these confirmations, and at least I know that when I invest something, my money is directly giving me a return on investment. Because missing out on trade opportunities because your money is stuck in a project is worse than taking bad trades in that manner. Okay, I'd rather get stopped out rather than sitting stuck in a position because I bought and it went down and I now have to wait. I've been there. We're still making these mistakes sometimes right now. But again, this is kind of the momentum play. And I think that region is a perfect region. So, buying above the 116, taking it to the 140. If you then break out again, sky's the limit. Okay, sky is the limit. Then it's all the time about looking for further continuation back to new highs. The 170, the 150, 170, and so on and so on. But then you are in a fantastic position, and you directly saw money, or you're the momentum play happening here. Key levels. I will be patient with Solana myself. I'd rather wait for BNB to break out and put my money in BNB and in AVAX rather than Solana right now at this particular moment. That's my personal opinion based upon the macro technicals right here. Lower time frame. It looks solid, but let's let them prove themselves to us a little bit further. Okay. What is the Bitcoin halving? Will it pump the price? The Bitcoin halving is one of the most important events in the market, in the industry in general, right? We all know that Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million Bitcoin. So again, we all know that Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million coins. Therefore, anything, there can never be printed more than that. And if the reward by miners gets reduced, obviously this is gonna have or can create some sort of supply shock. And that's why we call this programmable scarcity. And I do believe that this is a necessity right now, rather than looking at the US dollar, which is an inflationary currency. This could result into a deflationary currency. And I do believe that, that's what, the power of Bitcoin is. It's a programmable scarcity. It's programmed in a manner. It's indestructible. It's ready for, the next halving is coming in April. And once it's there, I mean, you bet there's gonna be some sort of supply shock once again. And combine that with a tremendous amount of hype here, based upon facts from the previous years and the previous halvings, that's usually the catalyst of some sort of bull run. And I think the pattern looks exactly the same. All right, exactly the same. Wayone says, after the halving, they will try to kill presence of the likes of me, the retail miners. Mining costs will rocket to 49k price to get one. Yeah, if it's counting for me, it will cost 32k. Yeah, so keep in mind that BlackRock right now, though, is buying up all the mining companies, at least the big mining corporations and stuff here. Like this is another hijack coming along. It's coming into play here, but do take in consideration that almost undeniable that this is gonna win, in my opinion, in the long term. So the question is, where will Bitcoin reach the $100,000? I mean, yes, I think so. The question also will be, what is the value of the dollar at that given moment? What's the true value of the dollar at that given moment when Bitcoin is reaching $100,000, right? So rather than looking at the dollar value, also looking at the true assets behind the actual value of the dollar, if that makes sense. Because if the dollar value is coming down here, obviously we're going to reach 100,000. Obviously we're going to reach 250,000, 500,000 or a million, especially when the dollar is by default worthless. So I mean, definitely something to take into consideration as well. Okay. A couple more charts, guys, and that's it for today here. Keep it short and powerful. We are shipping for like an hour or so. We have so many setups right now ready to look at. I think from a macro standpoint, that could set yourself up from some very simple but effective trades, investments, you name it, in the very, very short term, which could result into nice macro, breakouts here that you can utilize, capitalize on, ASAP. So therefore, let's see if there are a couple more here. Cardano. Forgot about Cardano, yeah. Forgot about Cardano. Cardano right now is also looking like it wants to go here. The way we started, we came down here, fantastic. We held, again, multiple weeks below, 6 weeks below. Now we're trying to push up here. Major resistance is still at 60 cents for Cardano, okay? We're at 53. So around 10, 15% more. We're reaching that major resistance. Anything above the 59, major breakout, okay? And the reason why I'm saying major breakout is the following reason. Obviously, we came up aggressively here, but again, this was such a long move. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an 8-week continuation. So 8 bullish weekly candle structures right there until it reaches that resistance here. Okay, then it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week, resistance play where we tried to break out. Yet every single week we were able to close below that resistance level. So again, the 59.6 is a major level that's confirmed. If you close a 1 weekly candle above it, you bet we're gonna go and we're gonna try to come up this time. And if that's the case here, I don't see anything stopping us from going back to the 78 cents for Cardano. And that's a big move. That's a big play here, okay? We're talking a nice 30% move on Cardano. That's big. That's big, okay? So either we're gonna come down back towards the 45, that's one layer to look at it, or, to get into lower targets right now here in that region. But just don't neglect the lower time frames right now. The higher time frames right now. Because, if you just understand these key levels and you are aware of the fact that this is a key level and this is a key level, you want to get, your entries as low as possible. Fantastic. You can look all the way at the 59. And if you manage to break above it, man, it's game over. You have the position of a lifetime right there, So therefore, look at a pullback. If you can find entries roughly around the lows, absolutely fantastic. Right now, I would not look for setups, and the reason why is because you're pretty much in the middle of a weekly range, of a weekly window here, between the 45 and between the 59. I'd rather look then at a pullback where we come back down to the lows here, then look for that continuation play, back at the range, retesting the range and looking for the continuation, or just simply wait for that reaction and that break above here and just purely play the higher time frame. The higher time frame confirmation. That's it. But again, just don't neglect the higher time frames. I know it's easy and fun to trade the lower time frames, and you can get amazing trades. If you're just a scalper, fantastic. But sometimes when the market are presenting these key levels here, especially on the weekly time frame, these setups just don't appear every single day. So if you get the opportunity, capitalize on it. Because this could be the moment where we're setting up for that break or for that momentum here. That next wave, a short-term wave for these altcoins right there. Okay, I'm gonna keep it short today, guys. I'm gonna keep it short, quick, and powerful. I still hope you guys enjoyed today's session. We have a bunch of setups to look at here. One of my favorites right now is definitely BNB and AVAX. Okay, this breakout here for BNB will result potentially into a really nice confirmation in the breakout play here. And I think that AVAX as well, is setting up for also a fantastic move here due to the fact that we have nothing stopping us right now. We're heading towards the $56 right there. Okay. One more question. Can CBDCs replace crypto? This is what they're trying to do right now. Obviously, we know what's going on there. They're trying to completely control the industry with, completely control the economy soon with CBDCs, right there. Programmable currencies, which have no underlying value, so to say. So therefore, I would recommend and say, I would not recommend, but I would say, will it replace cryptos? I mean, I think that cryptocurrencies were potentially a catalyst to get familiar with, digital currencies first. So I think that crypto actually was some sort of, contribution towards the success of CBDCs in the future, due to the fact that this might be the catalyst of, hey, if digital currencies are working this well in crypto, then why not for the digital euro, the digital yen, the digital dollar, you name it. So I think there is some sort of correlation there. If it will actually replace cryptos here, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. Fuck CBDCs though. Sorry. Be careful, but it's the facts. Okay. Okay, guys. Last thing in regards to Bitcoin, very important here. We have the higher time frame, the weekly. Okay. Can Bitcoin reach the $50,000? What do you guys think? I would love to hear it in the chat right now. Do you think it is possible for Bitcoin to reach $50,000 before, and I have to say, Wednesday? Okay, let's have some fun today, and let's see, who was right and who was wrong here. Do you think it is possible to reach the $50,000 before, or do you think it's highly, highly, highly unlikely here? Okay, let's look at it in the. Let's see in the chat real quick. Let's see if there is some potential for you guys. What do you guys think? Okay. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have here. Maria says no. Maria says no. Rafal says 50 within reach. It's a major, major level here. Okay. It's a major, major, major level. I personally think so. I think there is some potential. That's my personal opinion. The reason why is because obviously from this last, expansion here, keep in mind that a lot of shorters right now are extremely fearful around this high, and that a lot of these stop losses right there are sitting above it. That's the only reason why I personally believe that we could see some sort of expansion, a final squeeze towards the $50,000. Take out the stop losses right there, turning around, something like that. Okay, I think it's too early for a run. Who knows? We have the ETF still. We have to find out too. Okay. Hope that makes sense here. Hope you guys learned something today. At least, got a little bit of a clear mind. ARK Invest, keep a close eye on all these spot ETF charts as well, because they're now starting to shape and form solid structures as well that could, help with, your contribution towards your analysis as well here. And again, the Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, all these things matter a lot right now. Usually what tends to happen though is that if Bitcoin reaches new highs, it's not directly coming down yet. We will reach some sort of distribution phase first. And if that happens due to a lack of liquidity, by the way, then, altcoins potentially give us the opportunity to break in the short term, break out, reaches new stages, new levels, potentially then flipping this later back into support again when we come down again. So this is how we're slowly climbing towards the Bitcoin halving to potentially then look for a bigger move. This is my expectation. Let's see how it goes. Okay, guys, enjoy your weekend, I would say. All right, be careful, be patient, be safe with trading in the weekends as well. A lot of manipulation. It's easy to trade in the weekend. I know it's fun, but if there is truly a lack of volume, it gets very, very difficult. Okay. Try your best here. Look at these key levels. Don't neglect them. Enjoy. And I'm looking forward to see you very, very soon again. Forex streams. I'm also streaming Forex on a day-to-day basis here. So, join me live Forex. We're trading a lot of gold as well. The closest thing you can get to Bitcoin in the traditional sector. So again, get familiar with my main channel. If you don't know me yet, at least, look at my main channel and see what we do there. We're trading live, we're executing trades on a day-to-day basis. We have crypto as well, and we're just building, keep you guys informed, and of course, building a fantastic community. All right. Thank you very much. Looking forward. See you soon. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. Spend some time with your fam. All right. See you soon.